This is the blueprint if you want to make your first 10K per month. Over the last 7 years, I've done high ticket sales. I never really thought I would be here, but I actually have been head of sales for your favorite creators like Ali Abdaal. And as I reflect on these last 7 years, I discovered that there's 3 things that you need to make high ticket sales work. And if you're missing any of these, you can guarantee yourself not to make money, be burned, broke, and live in your mom's basement if you're cool with that. Anyways, let's kind of get into it. So as we do our blueprint, there are 3 things that you need, and you need all 3 to make your first 10K per month. Sorry for my crappy handwriting. Let's start off with the first thing. You need the right client. So I'm going to tell you the story of 2 offers. Ali Abdaal's offer. So when I first started, they were doing about 20K per month, but I got it all the way up to 150K actually the last month. Ali had a really great brand. We were pushing out content. We even had a score app that we're building out to triage people and qualify people who could afford the high ticket offer that we were making. I think one of my last months, I got paid almost like 36K on that last month, which was pretty crazy. Offer number 2 was my friend's offer. It was after Ali shut down his high ticket sales offer, and there's a whole video on that. One of my friends approached me to close further high ticket sales. He had an e-com consulting offer, and he needed help because his current closer wasn't closing for some reason somehow. Their offer was a 30K offer with 15% commissions, and that sounds pretty great, right? But if you want to know how much I actually made with that offer, it was pretty much 0. I spent an entire month blocking out 6 hours on my calendar, and this was honestly the biggest waste of my time and led me to ask, what was the difference? I had the same skills for both. One had a big brand, one didn't. One had a better offer, one didn't. And Ali's offer, I was probably only doing like 4 hours per day, which was pretty insane. But the biggest difference in my opinion was actually having the right client. So what is a right client? Well, there are a few things that are in mind. 1, having consistent leads. So having about 80% like booking capacity. So if I book out 20 sales calls per week, and that's my capacity, at least 16 of them should be kind of filled. Whereas my friend's offer, he only had 1 call every 3 days, and there wasn't a true need for me there. And so consistent leads is important because that actually shows that there's a true need for you to be there, where high ticket sales, it's helping your clients do 2 things. It's helping them scale and it's helping them convert. And you need those things. Otherwise, the founder can pretty much do the sales calls themselves because there isn't enough volume for you. The second thing I think about is positive brand reputation. The reason why this is important because with the second offer, that e-com offer, that person wasn't doing any content. They just had 1 video, and it was pretty much commoditized against every other e-com consulting offer out there. Whereas Ali, he actually had a lot of content, which actually pre-sold a lot of his leads and stuff coming in. There was just natural trust. And one of the things I always think about is like, how do we turn this high ticket sales process into an order taking process there? So there's that. And then typically this is done with content. And the third thing that makes a really great client is culture. And so nothing against my friend, but he would just like blame the sales team, why we weren't converting, all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, I've closed a lot of deals in my life. I know what a good funnel looks like. I know what doesn't, and this doesn't look like a good funnel. So I actually quit this this offer pretty quickly. Not as quickly as I should have, but it wasted a lot of time for me. And when I think of good culture, right, it's like a good supportive culture. They listen to feedback, they implement the feedback. I think about the book. It doesn't have to be Crazy at Work. It was written by the Basecamp founders. They're receptive to things too. And so Ali and all them, they had a non-reactive type of sales culture. Like when I think about the worst clients I've ever had, they were the ones where everything felt like it was on fire. Everything felt like it was very urgent, even though it wasn't really, right? And so I think that is an important thing where that really ultimately decides, are they a pain in the ass or not? Are they reactive, proactive? Will it always feel like we're on fire at any point in time? And so that's what I think the right client kind of looks like right here. But even if you have the right client, this is not enough. And it leads me to my second thing. having the right sales process. So even if you have the right client, they might have all the right vibes, the right culture, they have a great brand reputation, they're generating consistent leads. The second thing I always wonder is, do they have a really great sales process? And in my mind, a sales process is everything, because a process is just a series of steps. And if you don't have a process, everything's disorganized. And if there's too many things in your process, if your process is really complicated, that means more admin. Instead of using that time for sales calls, which are revenue generating, you're wasting a lot of time doing admin. And so really at this point, one of the things I like to do is just making sure that my time is being spent on making money. And so one of my friend's marketing agency, I remember I went in and there was no CRM, there was no customized payment links, there was no automations, and I was trailblazing it all out. And all I really wanted was just one button to make everything work and just make everything easy. Because if I have to do more admin and all that, I'm charging for that. I'm going to charge way more for that. But if we can avoid that, that's ideal. So what are the things that we can do for a sales process, right? In my mind, the first thing about a good sales process is having the right tools. So this is like having a CRM, maybe AI, things like that. And there's reviews on all these apps, but like Go High Level, Score App, even Your Atlas, and all these cool AI tools these days that we're going to cover. What I find is that some clients are like really lazy and they want to ask you like, hey, what's the deal, the status and all that. And it's like, dude, I don't got time to update you for every little thing, even though you're a really great friend. It's in our CRM. So that really helps out a lot. All right. So the second thing I think about is process. So kind of like, I like to think of this as SOPs, things like this. So it's like having, hey, does this person have the customer journey mapped out? Have they thought about it? Do they have like a VSL, sales page, application for pre-qualification? This part is really important. You want some sort of pre-qualification process, so you're not talking to people who aren't qualified, like the timing is really off, or they don't have budget, or it's not even your scope of work. You don't want to waste your time talking to these people. Do they have like a high ticket sales script? Do they have email automations? It's really great to have tools, but are they set up as well? And then I think about a really great process as people, having the people to back it up. It might be, if you're a beginner, do they have a sales manager / head of sales? Do they have VAs to help you with follow-up and reschedulings? Do they have existing setters and closers? This is really important if you are very new, because then you can model the process there too. And by having all these things in place, by the way, it shows me the maturity level of the business, right? They're generating enough revenue to pay for these different things. And then, even though we have the right process, if you're selling trash, it doesn't mean anything. And that gets us to our third thing, having the right offer. Okay, even though you might have the right client and the right process, is it irresistible offer that, as Hormozi would say? And more importantly, is it the right offer that you should be selling? Sure, 10K per month is really great for 1 month, but if you can't consistently generate it, it loses all its meaning. I remember a long time ago when I first started, I was on a ClickFunnels offer selling e-commerce coaching. I hated the owners, I hated e-com because it wasn't my thing. And eventually these people were complete, and this guy actually hit me up recently and he actually started under delivering. Honestly, it turned into a borderline scam and I left. Many years later, when I started working with Ali, I loved YouTube. I was selling his part-time YouTuber accelerator, where a lot of times it didn't even feel like working with Ali. I made a bunch of friends on the sales calls. I love talking about YouTube. And when I reflected on why did I love this so much, there was a few things that came to mind. The first thing is that I had subject matter expertise. Literally, it could be a topic that I could talk about all day about. As there's more high ticket sales people coming in, I don't think it's as beginner friendly, and you'll have to have some sort of expertise somewhere that you enjoy talking about. So there's that. The second thing that makes something a really great offer is product market fit with decent compensation. I think this is also really important because you need to make sure that this offer is so good that it kind of sells itself. There's a whole debate on like whether we actually need high ticket salespeople. We can talk about that on another video. But the reason why product market fit is so important is that you need validated sales. Whether you already know, will they buy and can they buy? Especially if you're new, you don't want to be on an offer wondering if the offer sucks, the marketing sucks, or you suck. And it's probably all three, not gonna lie. So it's hard to distinguish which one it is. And just because it's a really great offer, if you don't get paid a decent amount that gets you to your dream lifestyle, then there's no point of taking on this offer as well. You want to be in a culture where they enjoy paying people, right? Like for my YouTube team, I enjoy paying my contractors and supporting their living and stuff. And I'm always trying to find ways to pay them more as well. The last thing too is consistent results. Consistent results is important because you could be having consistent leads and consistent sales coming in, but if you're not delivering on the promise, what happens over time is that you build a negative brand reputation. You begin to build this reputation as a scam. And that's what happened with that first client I was talking about, right? And so you want a good sign of this is like you're getting genuine testimonials, not stupid paid testimonials, and you're getting a lot of referrals from people's networks too. That is a good sign that you are generating really, really great results, in my opinion. And so I think at the end of the day, if you're like me, you jumped into high ticket sales because you really want to help people, not just take their money. Otherwise, you're a wolf of Wall Street, bro, and go f yourself. Okay, that, in my opinion, are the different steps where you can make your first 10K per month. These are the different things I look for, and you need to be able to find the right client, have the right sales process, and the right offer to do it. For my experienced closers watching this, do you feel like I left anything out? Let me know. And for the new closers, what was really insightful for you? I'm very, very curious. Anyways, if you want to learn high ticket sales completely for free, I have a free course. I don't gatekeep anything. I throw a free great game with my scripts and all that sort of stuff. Top link is in the description. And here's another video that the algo gods will think you'll like. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Peace, my people. Later. Bye.